Windows environment.
Windows environment.
Windows environment, not into Linux.
No.
Okay, not an issue. Right. So here, so we do have some keywords in our industry. So while preparing our profile itself, we are listing some skill set, a technical skill set. What are the technical skill set you are having? You know, it's like operating. What are the operating systems? You know, so what are the packages? You know, what are the languages? You know. So what are the databases, you know? It's this kind of words here I'm mentioning in my profile. It's the operating system is a platform, the operating system is a set of programs, and package in a sense, so it is a ready-made product. The package in a sense, the ready-made product, which is all the predefined, just we are utilizing the properties of the product. The best example for package is MS Office. In MS Office we are having the MS Word, Excel and PowerPoint. Hence, if I want to create a file either in MS Word or Excel or PowerPoint, just I am selecting the new option from file menu. Hence, if I want to open an existing file, then open option from file menu, the save option from file menu. Hence, so just I am utilizing the properties of the product that is called the package. Hence, so just coming to language, in which way we are communicating with the people. In the same fashion, if I want to communicate with the system, then I should know the programming languages. It's programming in the sense set of instructions. It's, so if I'm giving some task to the people to find the sum of 2 digits program, some people will finish the program in 4 steps. Right? Some people will finish the program in the 2 steps only. Right? So read A comma B and print A plus B like this.
Okay.
But way of writing is totally depends on the user. Way of writing is totally depends on the user, right? So language is user defined. Using the programming languages, we can develop some interfaces, right? So all interfaces, like all programming languages, are called as the front-end tools, right? Any GUI application is a graphical user interface, is a front-end tool. It's just I'm making the one layer to interact with the database. Even though if you are perfect in C, C++, Java, .NET and VB, any programming language, so you require the database, right, server to maintain the data. While creating the Google account in the Gmail account in the so then here I'm giving all my personal information. Then after that I'm clicking on the submit button. When I'm clicking on the submit button, whatever I have given the information in the interface, that information has to be has been located in the Google server. Right? That all the confidential information, right, will be maintained by the Google server itself. That means ultimately that to storage and retrieving will go for the database. Hence each and every person, each and every organization, they has to be maintain their information. Hence the purpose of database is the storage and retrieving. We also maintaining our contact information in my mobile. Hence if I want to get some contact number, I am searching for the number with the help of the first letter of the name. Hence I am writing the queries to get the contact number. Hence, so that means I am storing the information, and whenever we require the information, just I am writing the queries to access those things, to insert, to modifying, to delete, right? Hence I am adding the contact number to mobile. Hence I am deleting the contact number. I am modifying the contact number. Hence such kind of the manipulations we can do in the database through the queries itself. The process of processing of data. Hence so purpose of database is the storage and retrieving. Hence what is meant by data? The data in the sense the collection of information or the raw information about a particular object is called a data. The collection of information or the raw information about a particular object is called a data. Right? So collection of information about a particular object is it may be a person or the organization. Just information gathering. The information gathering about a particular object is called a data. That information only I am processing in meaningful way. So that processing of data is called as the database. In simple words, the processing of data is called as the database. What is meant by processing? Yes, that means here we do have some bucket. In that bucket we are having some water, right? If I want to drill on some water, from the bucket, here I should use the mug or bottle, right?
Yeah.
So that mug or bottle is a query. I am writing the queries to interact with the database, right? To access the data, to insert, to update, to delete. That processing of data is called as the database. In detail, the collection of the interrelated data. Hence, interrelated data in the sense all the relational information like employee number, employee name, job, salary, and department number. All are the interrelated data elements. The collection of the interrelated data and a set of programs. The set of programs in the sense I am writing the queries. No, I am not writing any program like C language. Just I am writing the queries to interact with the database. Hence, to access the data. This collection of data is called as the database. And how data managed in the database management system. The purpose of database is storage and retrieving. Hence, how data managed in the database management system. How data managed in database management system. Yes. So here we do have the different methods to manage the data, that is the file management system, yes, hierarchical management system, and the network management system. File management system. The file management system is the first method. The file management system is the first method to store some information. Hence, in this method, the data will be stored in the sequential manner, one after the other. Yes, in file, how I am arranging the information: record 1, record 2, record 3, record 4, like this. If I want to get some, if I want to fetch some record, then I need to search from beginning itself. Like for example, here X is the person. Here X is the person. He was working at ABC company. X is the person. He was working at ABC company. ABC company having so many departments. Right? So here we do have so many departments. Right? So if I want to meet him at ABC company, I should know the concerned department where he was working. Right? But here I don't have any department details. Right? But finally I want to meet him at ABC company itself. Then how can I have to go for each and every department and searching for the person called X, one after the other. Finally, I will be getting some information, but it takes some time. Yes, that means finally what I am saying that in the file management system, the file management system is the first method. The file management system is the first method to store some information. In this method, the data will be stored in the sequential manner. The data retrieving means data fetching. The data retrieving is very slow because any relationship cannot be drawn in the file management system. Like for example, so in earlier days what we have done in the bank organization is, so we have done the transaction in sequential manner before computerized our information, right? Nowadays we are doing all kinds of transactions at a single window. Let's see, this more flexibility than compared to file management system, right? So hierarchical management system. Hierarchical management system establishes the parent-child. Hierarchical management system establishes the parent-child relationship, and it supports the one-to-many relationship. It supports one-to-many relationships. So data retrieving is very faster than
network management system and file management.
Is very faster than data retrieving is very faster than compared to file management system. Nowadays, so we can do all the transactions at a single window, right? So next, net banking or phone banking or net facility, ATM, in the ATMs also we can do some transactions. And so many ways we have to do some transactions. It supports the many-to-many the relationship. Yes, data retrieving is very faster than the compared to file management system as well as hierarchical management system. Here DBMS, the DBMS allows a single person to access the data. The DBMS allows a single person to access the data. So what are the DBMS packages we are having is Excel, it's DBS 3 plus, Lotus 123, it's all are the DBMS packages. If I am having the 10 computers has to be loaded by the DBMS packages itself. Hence, in any DBMS package, hence data will be stored in terms of the files only. Hence, so we can maintain the small scale information in the using the DBMS packages. The coming to RDBMS, so RDBMS stands for the relational database management system. Relational database management system allows more than one person to access the data. Hence, it supports one-to-one and one-to-many relationship. One-to-one and one-to-many relationship. Hence, so when I am working with the server, it is one-to-one. When I am working with the server and clients, it is one-to-many. What are the RDBMS packages size? The RDBMS packages are, so Oracle, Sybase, so Informix, DB2, SQL Server, it's MySQL, and so PeopleSoft all are the RDBMS packages. In any RDBMS package, its data will be stored in terms of the tables only, which having a collection of rows and columns. The collection of rows is called as tuples. So like here we do have the server and clients. A number of clients are there. Right? So a number of people is connecting to the system. How they are connecting to the system? Using the hosting R, the server name, the people are connecting to the system. Right? So using the hosting R, the server name, the people are connecting to the system. And same resource can be accessing by more than one person at a time. The same resource can be accessing by more than one person at a time. Right? So this kind of environment is not available in the DBMS packages. Right? DBMS packages. Right? So here Dr. EF card is the person is introduced the 12 rules. DBMS concept. Right? Like so information rule, insert and update rule, right? So strategic null value rule, right? Partition rule, integration rule. Like this, here I am having the 12 rules. So when we are saying that it is RDBMS concept is the RDBMS, so must be satisfying at least 7 rules. Right? At least 7 rules. Then only we named as it is a RDBMS concept. Right? So here again Oracle having 2 sub languages. So that is SQL. SQL stands for structured query language. Right? So PL SQL stands for the procedural language for SQL. Yes, procedural language for SQL. And these two are the prerequisites to learn any other the Oracle streams. Right? So Oracle streams, and SQL is a common database programming language. The SQL is a common database programming language to all the RDBMS packages. Right? So here SQL is a non-procedural language. Means here I am not writing any program like C language. Just I am writing the queries to interact with the database. Right? The purpose of SQL is to communicating with the database. Communicating with the database or to querying the database. or to querying the database. How I am querying the database? Using the SQL commands. That SQL commands are classified into data
Data
definition language. Data definition language commands is create, alter, truncate and drop. Yes. So these commands will be help you to create the database objects. Yes.
Yeah.
The database objects are schema objects. Yes. What are the database objects or schema objects? Tables, views, synonyms, yes, sequences and indexes.
Yeah.
Yes. These objects can be defined by the command called create, and object definition can be modified by the alter, and the entire data will be removed from the object using the truncate, and the entire object will be removed by drop. Right? So how can I manipulating the data? Means data manipulation language command. Right? Data manipulation language commands is inserting the data, modifying the data, deleting the data, and data retrieval language command is select, retrieving the data. How I am giving the permissions on my table to others. Data control language command. I am granting all the permissions on my table like insert, update, delete on my table to others, so that others can write insert, update, delete on my table. Right? In the same fashion, I am cancelling the permissions which I granted. Right?
Yeah.
I am cancelling the permissions which I granted. That is the transaction control language command, commit, rollback and save point. That is to save the transaction, to undo the transaction and to save all transactions at one save point itself. Using these commands itself we used to communicate with the database. Hence, so apart from this we will write the query on the multiple tables to get the data from multiple tables, and we can write the rule on a column or a group of columns in a table, so to maintain the valid information, that is called the constraints. And what are the functions we are having in the SQL, what are the clauses we are having, right? And so directly we are writing the create table syntax, create command on the table. Before creating the table, what we are doing? We are doing the normalization, right? The normalization means normalization goal is to represent the information in simplest format. Then we do the normalization. Basically, while doing the normalization, we don't have any the data. Right? On sample data itself, we are doing all the normalizations. Right? What we are doing in the first norm form, what we are doing in the second norm form, and the third norm form, the bi-squad norm form. Right? So next we go for the fourth and fifth norm forms like this. Right? So using the in the normalization, it's while doing the normalization, some of the tables can be eliminated. Some of the tables can be eliminated. Right? So after this, so we can write the create table command. Right? To create the table. Right? So then we go for the database objects. Right? So what are the rest of the database objects is synonyms, sequences, views and indexes. Right? So in-depth knowledge indexes is the bitmap indexes, B-tree indexes, and unique and non-unique indexes. Right? Composite index, and views, simple view, complex view and materialized view. Right? So next we go for the synonyms. Synonyms an alias name for the table or view. The sequence which can generate the unique sequential integer values either in ascending order or descending order. Right? So next, so we go for the locks and partitions. Locks concept which helps to restricting the user access concurrently. Hence the partitions to handle the data independently. It is easy to take the backup. Hence next we go for the V-arrays and nested tables and working on the secondary data types in SQL. Then we go for the PL SQL concept. The PL SQL, basics of the PL SQL, and stored procedures, functions, packages, triggers. It's only the packaged subprograms can be overloaded. Its standalone stored procedures and functions cannot be overloaded. Overloading means defining more than once with a different number of arguments. That is called the overloading. It's only the packaged subprograms can be overloaded. Subprograms means either it is a stored procedure or the function. Next triggers to centralize the application to give the alert messages. If I are doing some transaction in non-business hours in the bank, then it gives some alert message to the user. Right? So next collections. Next we do have the discussion on SQL loader to load the information, bulk loading. The 10 million records I'm having, the 10 million times I cannot write the insert statement to get the data into the table, right? So how can I load the 10 million records? How can I check the data quality? Right? So how can I import the data from flat file? How can I export the information? And how can I communicate with two databases? Right? So or multiple databases. How can I access the data from remote server, remote location? Hence the all concepts we'll discuss with you. Then we move on the Linux commands. The Linux, I'm teaching you the Linux commands to operate the database server. In the Linux system itself, in the Linux operating system itself, we are going to install the Oracle product, and I'm having the Linux commands to operate the database server. Hence the Linux commands will teach you what to run the job in the background and foreground, and for job scheduling. Hence that all concepts will discuss with you in the Linux. Then we start the DBA concept. So in the DBA, so we do have the discussion on the what are the difference between different versions, and what is the architecture. So what is mean by SG, shared global area, and programmable global area, and installation part, installation in server, and installation in server and clients. How can I configure the database in the client database? How can I create the database? That means instance, one database having one instance, right, at a time.
Okay.
And so how can I create the database? And we can take care of the user management. Let's suppose some new guy has been added. So new guy added to the project. For that new guy, you need to create the user accounts, and you need to give the privileges to that particular person. Right? So how can I create the user accounts? How can I give the privileges to the person? Right? So that all concepts we'll discuss with you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. 1 second. Be on the line. Next we go for the parameters and data pump, backups, that is daily backups, weekly backups, and monthly backups. Yes, performance tuning, data guard, database cloning, and armament backup. Yes, these are the concepts we are going to discuss with you.
Okay.
Just I given the outlines. Given the outline. So once we started our regular sessions, then we do have the discussion on each and every topic in depth. So and I'll give the more exercise, to practice the Oracle architecture. I'll give some queries. That query how it works in the Oracle architecture. You should give the diagrams to me. Hence, for each and every topic, I'll give the exercise. Completely the practical oriented training we provide you. So what I am doing in my project since 5 years, so then I'll explain that kind of environment.
Okay.
Okay, what time you are flexible to attend the session, Sridevi?
Means, to be frank, I'll be flexible to take the sessions in the evening after 8 only. Means
Okay.
I have a baby, 1+ year baby.
So after 8, so
Yeah.
you'll be able to take the sessions, right?
Yeah. Means if you are not flexible with that, you can let me know another timing also. I'll make sure that.
Okay. We'll discuss the timings and with Srinivas. Then Srinivas will let you know. Okay.
Okay. Means you'll be giving any practical guidance on me for the how the.
Yeah, scenarios I will give you the base. So on the scenarios itself we are going to discuss the concepts, and so day to day what we are discussing, what I am showing in my system, that I'll send it to you through the mail, and finally for all the things, for all the concepts I'll give the material to you. Hello, yes, Srinivas.
Go ahead, sir.
Hello?
It's not for me actually. I'm discussing with another
Okay,
person.
yeah, yes. Yeah. So yes, Sridevi. So for all the concepts, I'll give the soft copy so as a material, and for each and
Okay.
so on each and every topic, so I'll give the scenarios, and that's